Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Urban Dunya, I'm Tim Blight, and welcome back to Spectacle, the series where I'm showing you some of the most amazing religious rituals that I've ever experienced. Today, again, I'm coming to you from the Walled City of Lahore. It is the 8th day of Muharram, and behind me here is the Zanjeer market. Zanjeer is literally the Urdu word for chain. But what you can see behind me here is also known as Zanjeer. It is a 5-bladed whip that mourners use mostly on the day of Ashura to flagellate their own backs, in what is one of the most symbolic and also divisive actions of this period.
There are many theories about how the tradition of Zanjeer zani came about, and even more arguments about whether it's advisable or even permissible. It can be extremely controversial, and I'm in no capacity a scholar on the topic. So in this video, I'm going to give you a brief rundown of arguments for and against. But if you want to know more about this, I'd strongly advise you to consult sources better placed than myself. So here goes. Those who support or at least tolerate Zanjeer zani usually say that although many scholars condemn or even prohibit self-flagellation, they are far from unanimous in their point of view. Others say that it is an integral part of their mourning, an attempt to feel the pain of those massacred at Karbala, a dramatic public statement about the price of unchecked evil in the world, and a public, selfless display of sacrifice and devotion that doesn't impact anyone but themselves. Those on the other side say that it is barbaric and cultural rather than Islamic. In fact, many cite Islam's prohibition on self-harm as evidence against Zanjeer zani. And they also say that in the age of mass media, it creates a negative impression about the Shia or even wider Muslim community. What is not disputed is that the topic is very divisive, even within sections of the Shia community, and that the act itself is one of the most sensitive and dramatic aspects of Ashura commemorations. The metalsmiths of Lahore work overtime to cater for the demand in the lead-up to the 10th of Muharram. Different shapes and sizes exist for different tastes. Some are quite obviously designed to make a bigger statement. Some are emblazoned with motifs relating to Hussein's sacrifice. Knives are also sharpened for the handful of people who engage in qamazani, which involves hitting the scalp with a blade. To walk around the market is a spectacle in itself, like cottage industries all working together, a mixture of a macabre religious ritual, a faith-driven duty, and enterprising craftsmen. Tomorrow night and into the next day, all of these will be used to make what their owners might say is the ultimate statement of faith.
Differences of opinions about rituals and hundreds of thousands of people in the same place at the same time. It's not surprising, therefore, that the security forces have their work cut out for them.
Ahead of a majlis and procession in the suburbs of Lahore, police are setting up roadblocks, closing the street for the evening, and erecting screens to obscure outsiders' view of the proceedings. Events like this in the past have been rocked by bombings, shootings, and other attacks, and although it's only temporary, the security procedures are serious. Anyone is welcome to come inside and join the majlis and procession, but they have to go through not 1, not 2, 3, but 4 security checks just to get inside. The 9th and 10th of Muharram are public holidays in Pakistan, and cell phone networks are switched off from dawn until dusk on the 10th. It's all designed to disrupt the plans of any would-be attackers. Meanwhile, behind the police lines, the morning processions and the matam continue through the night and into the 9th day. I'll be back with more from Lahore tomorrow night on Ashura Eve.